Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give y'all a chance to tap on in before I start building on the topic for the day. Got an important topic I want to build on today, man. Hopefully y'all been good. Been a minute since I streamed, but now we back at it, man. We back at pushing out the content. About to get back on the grind, man. Hopefully y'all been taking it easy out here, staying safe, protecting that immune system, man, eating good foods, not overindulging in all the acidic and toxic foods. Kev, peace. What's going on, man? How you living? How you holding up, man? How you maintaining? Anthony Williams, peace. What's going on with you? Kev, most definitely, man. I got my workout in this morning. Like I said, that's the topic for the day, man. A lot of people lose this motivation. Nick, what's going on with you? How you living, man? How y'all maintaining out here? How y'all holding up? Like I said, we got an important topic for the day, man, dealing with just staying motivated. Tavon, peace. What's going on with you? So give y'all a chance to come on in, man, and tap in with your boy before I start really diving in. Y'all know how I go. I always deal with the psychological aspect of things, man, and that's no different. D, peace. What's going on with you? Oh, Anthony, hey, get them calisthenics in. I'm a fan of calisthenics. That's all I do. That's all I do. That's part of my routine there, man. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips, all of that, man. Burpees, inchworms, planks. The main staple, one of the main staples of my regimen, calisthenics. Cynthia for wisdom, peace. What's going on with you, Queen? How you living? Oh, Nick, no doubt. And I got inspired. Like I said, man, y'all know I was in Mississippi for a few days there, man. And this is what kind of inspired this video. R-Cart, peace. What's going on? Inspired this stream. Because like I said, man, it's a lot of people, man, they lose that motivation. And that's what I kind of said in the description. It's easy to get started on the journey and it's easy to quit. But the hardest thing is just maintaining it, staying committed, staying consistent, staying focused. That's the challenge for most people. Cynthia for wisdom, no doubt. Like I said, man, I'm in tune. We all in tune with each other, man. So, like I said, if I make a video and it feel like you needed it, then you needed it because we in tune. We in tune. I'm in tune with my audience. Anthony, when it comes to the proletarian diet while leaning out to build muscles, like I said, y'all know where I'm coming from when it comes to like veganism. So I'm really not necessarily the biggest fan of a proletarian diet because of the chicken and just how dangerous and toxic the chicken can be. If you had to consume any animal whatsoever, I would recommend pescatarian over proletarian. So if you had to choose between the two, I would suggest pescatarian over proletarian. But you can lean out, build muscle on any type of so-called diet. Just a matter of getting your calories in and making sure you're doing the proper workouts. But all right, man, we about 5 minutes in, so we're gonna get started. Like I said, man, one thing that is easy to do. Zucko, peace. What's going on? Joaquin, peace. What's going on with you? Appreciate it. It's very easy to start. Like I see it all the time, man. A lot of people, they get motivated. It's about to be that time. It's about to be January. It's about to be a new year for folks according to the Gregorian calendar. You know how we do it. We don't really focus on the Gregorian calendar. We don't let these people and their calendars tell us or dictate to us when we should get motivated to get in shape to set new goals and whatnot. So we know how that goes, but we know the masses, they follow this calendar. So it's about to be that time of the year for people to get motivated once again. And one of the main things that people are motivated to do in January is to get in shape. Is to take control of their health. Every January, the cycle is the exact same. It's time for me to focus on my health. It's time for me to prioritize my health. And I forgot the exact date. But y'all know the New Year's resolutions, man. Y'all know how this go. I forgot the exact date, but they said most people, I think it was around like January, like the 20th of January, or it may have been early February. But that's when most people stop pursuing their New Year's resolutions. So it doesn't take that quick. I mean, it doesn't take that long. Just as soon as we set them, we lose the motivation, we lose the discipline. Just that quick. We may stay committed to those New Year's resolutions for about a week or two. And just like that, the motivation dies. I have seen that with my own eyes. I've seen people come into the gym, get a membership January 1st. You will see them for that first week. And then after that first week, you no longer see them. Motivation has died. Motivation has died. So that's another reason why I really don't suggest that you let a calendar just kind of dictate your motivation or control your motivation. You shouldn't get motivated by a calendar, because that's going to lead to a lot of procrastination. Because what's happening now is people looking at it like, I'm going to just wait till January to start going to the gym. I'm going to just wait till January to clean up how I'm eating. That's procrastination. Once January hits, you're not going to just all of a sudden hit this button or this switch, and then you're just going to go into beast mode in the gym, and then you all of a sudden going to become this clean eater. It does not work like that. So that's why a lot of these New Year's resolutions, people don't see them through, because it don't work like that, man. You're just not going to hit a switch, and then January 1st of every year, now all of a sudden you're about to be disciplined in regards to going to the gym, in regards to cleaning up the way that you eat, especially if it's not something you've ever done before. So I don't know why people just expect that because it's a new year that all of a sudden things will just change based off of the fact that it's a new year. So we got to stop letting that calendar dictate how we move. We got to stop letting that calendar dictate how we set our goals, because that, like I said, leads to procrastination. That leads to procrastination more than likely, because right now is the time. January 1st is not the time. Like right now is the time to prioritize your health. Right now is the time to stay committed to a regimen. Right now is the time to elevate your level of fitness. Right now is the time, not January. So that's one of the main reasons why those New Year's resolutions are like trash and people don't see them through. Because like I said, right now, people know they need to get in shape right now, but they're going to push it off until January. So I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. Yeah, D, and that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the external motivation, which that external motivation would be the calendar. And that's a recipe. It's a formula for disaster. It's a formula. When you're looking at that calendar for motivation, I'm not saying that you shouldn't write down your goals and jot them down on the calendar, but when you let that calendar dictate things such as your level of fitness and your level of health, then we have a problem. We have a problem. Like, it's a way of life. Like, I don't have to jot anything down on a calendar in regards to me making sure that I'm working out, in regards to making sure that I'm eating as clean as possible. It's a way of life for me. It's a way of life. It's almost like breathing. You don't have to think about breathing. You just do it. It's like brushing your teeth, man. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth. You just do it. It's a habit. It's a routine. It's a way of life. It's a part of you. That's what fitness has to become for you. That's what your health has to become for you. It has to become a way of life, something that you don't think about doing, because thinking, that requires effort. Thinking requires effort, man. And we know a lot of people, we don't like to think. So you got to make it something that's automatic. And that's repetition. That's repetition. So definitely don't push it off. When you get that urge, man, when you get that urge to do it, man, now is the time, man. You got to act on that urge immediately. Because like I said, man, it's something that we already know that we need to do. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. Every time that you push it off, You setting yourself up for failure, for misery. But it's a lot of reasons. And Sean, peace, what's going on with you? And it's a lot of people, like I said, it's a lot of different reasons in regards to why people just kind of lose the motivation or even lose the discipline. It's a lot of reasons. Montel, peace, what's going on with you? Like life happens. And I tell my clients that all the time. Life happens, right? So you have an unexpected death in your family. Obviously, when it comes to things like working out, even eating right, that may not be at the top of the list, man. You may be grieving. It's time to grieve. What I tell people all the time, man, is don't stress over those type of things, man. When life happens, you got to deal with life. Deal with life. And a lot of times what happens is when people deal with that life and they get off track, they don't know how to bounce back. They don't know how to bounce back once the grieving process is over. They feel like, oh man, I didn't, life hit me hard. So I had to take 2 weeks off from the gym. And now they feel like that's the end of the world. Nah, man, you got to take the best part from it. All right, life hit me. I took 2 weeks off from the gym. I was going hard for 4 weeks. I was going hard for 5 weeks. My body just needed that rest. Now let's get back to it. So that's why I say it's a psychological aspect. It's mental. Same with eating. Life hits you. All right, man, I was eating clean for about 4 weeks. I slipped up for a week because life happened. Like I said, unexpected death of a family member. So I overindulge in things that I'm not necessarily supposed to indulge in because of the emotional trauma. Don't beat yourself up over the head. Like I said, take the best part from it. I was eating clean for 4 weeks. I was eating clean for a whole month. I just slipped up for 1 week. So I got 4 weeks opposed to 1 week. The 4 outweighs the 1. Just get back to it the next week. A lot of people don't understand how to just change or shift that perspective and that paradigm, that mentality. So just because you slipped up for a whole week, that don't mean that the world is over. So now you just got to resort back to just eating like a savage. No, that means I slipped up for a week. Then I'm going to just get back to it. I'm going to get back to it. D, and that's another thing too. That's another thing that I always get on people about, man, when it comes to just choosing diets over lifestyle changes. That's exactly why I'm not a fan of the term diet. Anytime someone is telling me that they are following a diet, like my face just frowns up. Because once again, you just setting yourself up for failure. Because once the diet is over, then what? I can answer the then what. Once the diet is over, once again, people revert back to those bad tendencies, to those bad eating habits, to those bad eating patterns. That's why I don't suggest following any type of diet. Because again, once that diet is done with, once that 30 days is over with, once you reach that goal, once you lose that 20 pounds, then what's next? Then what's next? Once you lose that 30 pounds, then what's next? You're going to get excited. You're going to say, all right, enough of this diet. I'm about to start overindulging in the bad foods once again. Then you put the weight on, you put the weight back on plus 20 more pounds. Make this a part of you. Make this a part of you. Don't just eat the greens because the diet tells you to eat the greens. Eat the greens because your body needs the greens on a daily basis. That's why you eat the greens. Don't just refrain from sugar or artificial sugar because this diet is telling you to do so. No, refrain from that artificial sugar because that's making you more susceptible to cancer. That's why you should refrain from the artificial sugar, not because this diet is telling you to do so. Yeah, Nick, and that's what it's about, man. Again, and like I said, for the most part, when it comes to any type of diet, it's almost like a culture shock for the most part, when it comes to these diets, man, like it's going to involve rapid elimination. So if you come across a diet and you examine it and compare it to your current eating patterns, then I guarantee you that diet is going to involve some rapid elimination. It's going to be a rapid transition, a rapid change. And that's never a good thing. Yes, you will drop weight initially. You will drop weight initially. That's with any diet. You can literally go on any diet and you are going to drop weight if weight loss is your goal. So any diet can give you that weight loss. Any diet. But like I said, what's happening when we go on these diets? Thunder Scorpion, peace, what's going on? And Natalie, I like that. I like it. I more so just call it a lifestyle. Like that's it. It's a part of me. That's why, you know, sometimes I don't even really like to use the word vegan, man. I use it because people kind of know what it is and know what it means and know what it entails. And I pretty much just made it a lifestyle. Oh, Nick Lewis, listen. you can live any type of life being plant-based. You can live any type of life being vegan. It all comes down to how disciplined you are as an individual. That's what it all boils down to. Like you can live a regular life being plant-based. You can live a regular life being vegan. You can live a regular life being vegetarian. You can live a regular life being a raw foodist. Because then at the same time, we got to define what's regular. What's regular to me might be abnormal to the next person, and vice versa. So I live a fairly regular and normal life by not drinking, by not eating meat, by trying to limit or stay away from the dairy products. Like I live a normal and regular life doing those things. Yeah, Cynthia for wisdom, most definitely. Most definitely. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like I don't even like for people to overly focus on like the scale and their weight and things like that, because then I feel like you're just really doing it for the wrong reasons. Like it's good to have body goals and whatnot, but again, once you reach that body goal, what's next? What you about to do? And then, like I said, that's when people tend to get off track. I hadn't heard it. That's almost everybody's story. I was doing it for a minute. I was losing the weight, and then something happened, and I just stopped going to the gym. I just stopped working out. I can tell you there's something that happened, man. You reached that goal and you got comfortable. You got comfortable and you got satisfied. So you wanted to lose 30 pounds, you lost 35, you got happy, you got satisfied, you got content, and you was like, all right, I'm good. I proved to myself I can drop 30 pounds and I dropped 5 more pounds on top of that. I'm good. No more diets, no more killing myself at the gym. Now I'm good. So that's you doing it for the wrong reason. You're doing it for the wrong reason. I'm not working out to hit a body goal. Like, of course, that's part of the equation. Like if I want to, gain 10 pounds of muscles or 10 pounds of muscle, then that's something that's like an individual goal that I have. But the main reason why I work out is because I'm striving to be healthy. I'm striving to be around for a long time. I'm striving to be the best version of myself. I'm not striving to go into my 70s and 80s hooked on all this medication, all these pills. I don't want that type of life for myself. So that's the main reason why I'm working out on a daily basis. That's the main reason why I strive to eat a certain type of way. Like I don't want to be struggling as I get older. I don't want to be hooked up to 10 pills, 10 different medications. Like, I don't want that life for myself. I don't want that life for myself. So that's the main reason why I do it. So the main reason why I'm working out is not to put on 10 pounds of muscle. Like if that was the main reason, then once I get to that goal, once I put on 10 pounds of muscle, then it's like, all right, I'm cool. I proved to myself I can do that. Now I'm good. I have no reason to work out anymore. And it's like a lot of people that play sports. You will see this a lot of times, man. A lot of people play sports in high school, college, and then once the Once that's done with, then they stop working out because that was their purpose. The reason why they were working out is because of the sport that they played. So once all that is done with, they have no more motivation. They are no longer inspired to work out, to eat a certain type of way. So you got to instill that in these kids. Like, the reason why you are working out is so that you can live a long and healthy life. You don't want to get into your 70s and your 80s, man, and be struggling, barely being able to walk, barely being able to function without taking some medication. You don't want that. Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. Peace, what's going on with you? Yeah, D, most definitely. And that's why I said we have to just define what's regular and what's normal. Because again, like, if you around the people, if you striving to go plant-based, vegan, raw food, whatever the case may be, if you striving to make that type of change in your life, then you should not hang around people who will try to pressure you to deviate from that change, from that lifestyle. You do not need to be hanging around that group of people. Point blank, period. I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's your closest friends. If they cannot respect the transition, the changes that you are striving to make to better yourself, you need to distance yourself from them. Period. Because now you are taking on a new norm, a new normal, a new regular. So the things that you did in the past that was once normal are now abnormal to you. So everything is changing. And sometimes that means your inner circle or the people you hang around, that must also change. And that's a mistake that people tend to make. We change everything about ourselves. Like, we adopt a whole new mentality, a whole new approach to life, a whole new lifestyle, but we keep the same circle of friends and get mad at them for not changing. You can't get mad at those individuals for not changing simply because you are changing. That's another thing that we got to understand. That's one thing that we got to understand. We got to stop stressing ourselves out over the people that we choose to hang around, not being inspired to change simply because we came across something and we got inspired to change. That's not your fight. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. And I see that a lot of times, man. So when you changing your mindset, when you changing the way that you think, when you shifting your paradigm, listen, that's not going to automatically inspire the people around you to change. More than likely, that's going to inspire a lot of the people or encourage a lot of the people around you to actually hate on you. So that's one thing you got to evaluate. So it's crazy how we can eliminate all of these foods, all of these other unhealthy habits, but we're afraid to eliminate people from our lives, from our diet, from our regimen. You can't be afraid to eliminate people, just like you can't be afraid to eliminate that pork, just like you can't be afraid to eliminate that beef, that red meat, just like you can't be afraid to eliminate that dairy. You cannot be afraid to eliminate these poisonous people that you're hanging around that are afraid of evolution, that are afraid of change. That's part of a diet too. That's part of a regimen too. The people that you associate with, the people that you hang around. That's all included. So if you shifting in all facets of your life, but you're not shifting in that facet, they gonna bring you down eventually. So don't be afraid to change up who you associate with. Like I said, I don't care if it's family or friends. KFM most definitely is jealousy, and they really admire. They really admire you at the end of the day. They admire the strength. They admire the discipline. They admire all of that. But you know how the ego is, and you know how pride is. They ain't gonna come out and admit that. So that's when that ego and that pride gets into the way. And that causes them to be envious and jealous instead of praising it, instead of encouraging it, instead of accepting it, instead of embracing it, instead of examining it and looking at it like, maybe I need to make some changes. No, that ego and that pride gets into the way all of the time. Amber, peace, what's going on? Oh, Nick, most definitely. And that's the thing. That's the thing, man. A lot of people, I see this problem a lot. I hear this problem a lot. The biggest downfall when it comes to just from my experience, the biggest downfall for people when it comes to making that shift from a dietary standpoint, just from a health and fitness standpoint, is family. I mean, relationships with family and even a spouse. Those are literally the biggest downfalls when it comes to why a lot of people get off track, why a lot of people don't even begin. That's one of the main reasons. When I talk to people, they talk about the spouse bringing them down, or they talk about the family, like the lack of support from the family. Those two things, man, are big in regards to somebody just maintaining a healthy regimen or even beginning a healthy regimen to begin with. The biggest downfall that people face, man, is the family. That lack of family support, or the friends, whoever it is that you associate with, or the spouse, man. If you don't have that support from the spouse and the family, for the most part, from what I've seen from my experience, that's enough for people to say, I'm not even going to begin this journey. Because a lot of people, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people, see, we sit here and say it on the surface. I don't care what nobody else thinks. But for the most part, that tends to be a lie. Most people say that. Most people, you got to call the bluff, because a lot of people, they are actually concerned with how people view them. So what tends to happen is they come across this piece of information that's telling them, all right, I need to eat a certain type of way. I need to cut this out of my diet, my regimen. I need to implement that. I need to start working out more. One of the first things you about to start asking yourself is, man, how my spouse gonna see this? How she gonna feel about this? How he gonna feel about this? Or if you're younger, you might like, man, how I'm gonna go to family functions? Like, how my family gonna receive this information or this change? How they gonna receive it? Those are some of the first thoughts that enter the mind. How you will be received by the people, by your friends, by your family, by your spouse, by your children, whoever it is that you're concerned about. That thought pops into the mind. It never fails. It never fails. And when you feel like you will not have the support, or if you announce it to your family and they just start bashing it off the rip, that's, like I said, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough to kill the motivation. That's enough to kill it before it even starts. So that's why I tell people a lot of times, man, when it comes to things like that, I don't announce it to people. I don't announce it to certain people. If I'm striving to make a change, I'ma just do it because it's personal. The reason why I'm making this change to begin with is because it's personal. It's for me. It's not for anybody else to understand. The moment that you rush out and strive to announce your plans to the world, like I said, that's when you're going to be in for a big awakening. You got a lot of dream killers out here, man. A lot of people, like I said, man, they wish they had the discipline. They wish they can go back in time and do things a different way. So when they see you striving to do the things that they wish they would have done, all negativity, all negative energy. And that negative energy is contagious and it is powerful. So again, like I said, when I get the urge to make a change in that department, I'm not announcing it to certain people. I'm not letting certain people know. They just gonna have to see the end result. And then they can inquire along the way. Point blank, period. I'm not announcing everything to certain people. Beats by Bless Zone Out music, most definitely. And that's and like I said, that's what I was alluding to. You can't be changing everything about yourself, but not be willing to change your environment. And like I said, your environment includes the people that you associate with. That's part of it. You have got to analyze and examine your environment, your crowd, your associates, your family, your friends. You've got to. It's important. Tavon, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, you could just you can even see it at family functions for the most part, man. You can really see who in your family is striving to evolve just mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago, y'all may have acted a certain type of way. If y'all get back together 10 years after that, and y'all and they still act in the same way, They not embracing change. They not embracing evolution. You're not supposed to be doing and acting the same way that you were 10 years ago. You're just not supposed to be that same person that you were 10 years ago. You're just not supposed to be that same person. So if you get around a person and they are acting the same way that they acted 10 years ago, man, like it's time for you to really evaluate your relationship with that particular person. I'm not striving to be around people that don't value change and evolution. Like I'm not striving to hang around those particular type of people. Oh, Shane, peace, what's going on? Yeah, Cynthia Ford. Yeah, that's big. That's big. A lot of people, most people don't realize how toxic they are. Most people, especially when it comes to family, man, people don't people don't realize, man, how like just a little dose of negativity. People don't realize how far how hard. People don't realize how hard that little dose of negativity can hit. People don't know how detrimental that little dose of negativity can be for a child. People don't realize that for a cousin, for a nephew, for a niece, for a father, for a mother, whatever the relationship is. People do not realize how detrimental that little dose of negativity can be. Because like I said, when it comes to making changes, you got to understand it. You got to look at it like this. When I came across the information that was telling me the way that I was currently eating was incorrect and trash and killing me, and that I need to change ASAP, you got to understand what's going on there. When I'm coming across this information, I'm already skeptical. I'm like, man, I've been eating like this for 20 years, for 25 years. Like, I'm not about to just change overnight. So I'm already on the fence. Like I'm already looking for a reason not to make the transition because I'm comfortable with this lifestyle. So if something is telling me that I need to change the way that I am currently, I'm looking for reasons to not do that. So if I come to my family and they tell me, nah, you don't need to make that change, you don't need to do that, then I'm going to accept that. That's why I tell people that little dose of negativity can be detrimental because you already on the fence. You looking for reasons to justify you not making the change because initially you don't want to make that change because you're comfortable with the lifestyle that you've been living. So the moment you announce that to somebody and they give you that justification, that's all that you need. That's all that you need. And you're going to act on that because you was looking for that. That's the reason. That's one of the reasons why subconsciously that you brought it to them, because you knew what they were going to say. You knew that they was going to tell you that, nah, that's crazy. You don't need to eliminate that meat from your diet, from your regimen. That's crazy. So that's one of the reasons why you brought it to them in the first place, subconsciously, because you're looking for them to justify it. So we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. And it's sad that the people that you bring it to are not more supportive. That's sad, but that's a reality. For the most part, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, and I always just stick to meat because I know the emotional attachment to meat. But 9.5 times out of 10, if you bring it to a relative and say, man, I'm thinking about cutting meat out of my life, then they gonna pretty much try to deter you away from that. They gonna tell you, no, you need meat, this, that, and the third. So that's what's going to happen 9.5 times out of 10, instead of them being supportive and saying, man, do what's best for you. If you feel like this is something that you need to do, then do it. Instead of them having that approach and that mentality, they going to tell you, nah, that's stupid. That's crazy. You don't need to do that. So like I said, again, I'm not even going to bring certain things to the table. I'm not even going to bring certain things to the table because that negative energy is strong and it's powerful. That wave of negativity can just wipe you out. Wipe out any little motivation and inspiration that you may have had. Because before we even reach the stage of discipline, before we even reach that stage, like in order for me to even like construct a plan or a strategy, I have got to have that motivation and that inspiration to make the change. So before we even get to the discipline, in order for me, like I said, in order for me to construct a strategy or a plan to prioritize my health, gotta have that motivation. So once that motivation dies, there will be no discipline. There will be no discipline because the motivation is done. I have no inspiration. That inspiration is everything. Like I said, that's your why you wake up in the morning. That's motivation. Like if you got kids and that's the reason why you get up and do what you do, that's motivation. That's inspiration. You motivated. Your kids motivate you. Your kids inspire you. That motivation is first and foremost. Then comes that discipline. It's like now I'm motivated. I'm up. I'm motivated. Now I got to tackle my day. That's the discipline. But if you didn't have the motivation, if you didn't have the inspiration, then you wouldn't even tackle your day to begin with. Lindell, peace, what's going on? So it sounds easy to tell people that it starts with discipline. You need to discipline yourself. But like I said, before that discipline, even when I started, it started with motivation. It started with me getting the information and then being motivated to make the changes. Because initially, like I said, discipline, let's say you striving to make changes in your diet. You striving to go from a meat eating or a meat centered diet to a vegan lifestyle. That's a lot of education. Like you gotta figure out how to properly transition. So that's a process. That's the discipline portion. But it's a process. You gotta learn the process. You gotta experiment and see what works for you. But before you reach that stage, man, you have got to be inspired, encouraged, and motivated to make the change. So once that inspiration dies, man, everything is going to die with it. So inspiration and motivation is big. We can't overlook that. That's why you should never kill a person when they are motivated. You should never talk down on that person once they are motivated. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. Once they are motivated, encourage them, support them. Keep pushing them in that direction because that motivation is what they need to get that boost to get started, man. And then that's where the discipline will come into play. But we kill people. Soon as they get motivated to do something, we kill them. We shoot them down. And Amber, and even with that, you keep having to start over and over again. Don't even look at that as something that's a negative. It's some people that they started one time and they never got back to it. At least you starting over and over again. So at least you realizing like, man, I'm messing up, so I got to get back to it. At least you realizing that. Some people don't even start to begin with. And then some people start that one time and they never go back to it. So at least you realizing the fact that, hey, I'm doing something wrong and I got to keep starting over and over. So you didn't already realize that. So sooner or later, something is going to click and stick and you will no longer have to continue to start over and over. So you don't even have to view that in a negative light. That's a positive. The simple fact that you have the willpower and the strength to continue to start over and over. I know a lot of people that are be in your position. They don't have the willpower. They don't have the strength. They not going to start over. They done. That first time that they failed, the first time they got off track, they done. They done. They done. So you already strong enough just by continuing to start over and over. If anything, that's a normal part of the process. That's how it should go. So like I said, eventually it's going to click and it's going to stick. Eli Smooth, what's going on? So like I said, man, it's sad, man, but I've realized that in my dealings with clients, just with people in general, your family tends to be your biggest downfall when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health, and that is sad. That is sad. But at the end of the day, it's your health, not theirs. So like I said, man, it sounds harsh, but you really have to evaluate everything when you are striving to make this transition, man. If you know that your family will not be supportive of the changes that you are striving to make, then you just can't introduce those changes to them. You just can't. You can't. You cannot surround yourself with that negativity and that negative energy. You just have to make the change. You have to make the change. And you have to stay committed to it. You have to stand on your square. Another thing, and I'm good for doing it, and I was definitely good at doing it when I was younger. A lot of people say that I like to debate, I like to argue. No, one thing that I'm not going to allow you to continue to do is assault, like verbally assault my lifestyle. I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to counter the negativity with information, with facts, with positivity. So one thing that you have to do, once you just make the change, the unannounced change, and people start paying attention to it, and they start making slick remarks, always counter the slick remarks to let them know this not a game. I'm really about this life. And I'm not about to allow anybody to talk bad about my lifestyle, because I'm taking that as a personal assault, a personal attack on me. So I'm not going to allow you to do that. Then eventually those people will back off and they will stop making the slick remarks. If you don't say anything, like, that silence is golden. That silence is a response to them. If you don't say anything, they're going to feel like they can continue to do that and make the slick remarks. No, don't let them do that. That's one thing that you must do when you are striving to make these changes. You have got to stand on your square, defend yourself, and defend your lifestyle. When people start talking slick, you talk back every time. Every time. Let them know that this is not a phase. This is my lifestyle right now. This is who I am. If you don't respect this lifestyle change, you don't respect me. And if you don't respect me, we're going to have a problem. So never allow people to talk bad about your changes. Don't allow that. Don't allow that. Do not allow that. Like I said, we got to be mindful of everything that we consume, and that includes those verbal assaults and those verbal attacks. You consuming that. So every time that you don't say anything, whether you know it consciously or not, like subconsciously, that's resonating. That's doing something to you. So you have got to counter that. Got to counter. Don't accept the attacks. Don't just sit there in silence. Like I said, your subconscious is accepting that. It's resonating. So you can't do that, man. You got to fight back all the time, every time. Like I said, eventually they're going to stop doing it. They're going to stop bringing that topic up when you are around. They just ain't going to do it because they already know. If I bring it up, such and such going to say something. Such and such ain't going to like it if I bring this up. So you got to let people know that you standing on your square, man, that you're not about to tolerate any disrespect to your lifestyle. If somebody walking around talking about you need to eat some real food, or you eating grass, like, I say something every time. I say something every time. I don't just sit back and accept that. Yeah, Jamar, most definitely. And I tell people all the time, for some people, cold turkey can work. But for most people, it's a process. It's a process, man. It's a gradual process, gradual steps. Yeah, and Tavon, like I said, with cardio, and another thing too, when it comes to motivation and staying motivated, staying disciplined, staying encouraged, spice things up, man. Make it fun. Do things that you enjoy doing. If you like basketball, man, make your cardio basketball. If you like boxing, man, make that your cardio. If you like swimming, make that your cardio. If you like dancing, make that your cardio. Like, incorporate things that you like into your exercise regimen, man. Incorporate things that you like, man. Don't just do things because somebody told you that you need to do this. If it's not exciting to you, chances are very high that you will have a hard time sticking to the regimen. So that's another reason that people tend to lose motivation. It's boring. Like, they doing the same thing over and over and over, and they not doing something that they enjoy. So find something that you enjoy and make that the main staple of your regimen. So like cardio, I don't necessarily go running on a track. I don't even use a treadmill. Like, I don't do those things for cardio. I'm jumping rope and I'm doing hit circuits. I'm doing circuit training. That's my cardio. That's what I like. And sometimes I may go outside and run some hills. So I do things that I enjoy for cardio. And especially when you starting off, like, that's important. That's pivotal, man. Make sure you're doing things that you enjoy. If you never weightlifted, like, chances are you're not going to know what you're doing. You're not going to enjoy it. So don't start there. If swimming is your thing, man, if you used to swim a lot, man, start swimming. Basketball is your thing, man, start by playing basketball, man. That's cardio. All of that is cardio. So incorporate things that you enjoy to your regimen. So I tell people that all the time, man. Like, they see things that I'm doing and they striving to do it. Like, man, listen, what works for me may not necessarily be your formula. You got to find what works for you. I enjoy lifting weights. I enjoy lifting heavy weights. This is fun to me. This is fun for me. This is what I do. And this is what I love to do. This may not be for you. You may not love to do this. Find what you love. Find what you enjoy, man. Experiment. It's a bunch of different ways to stay active, man. You ain't necessarily got to throw a bunch of weights around, man. It's a bunch of different things that you can do to stay fit. Find something that you enjoy. Like I said, even like calisthenics. Some people, I don't fool with weights. I do calisthenics. Then do that. Do calisthenics, man. Stick to a calisthenic regimen. Stick to a calisthenic routine. Oh, Shane, most definitely. I'm already knowing. And this is more so like, even as a trainer, one reason why people just like the way that I train is because I'm always switching it up. You can never predict what I will have you do, because I believe in spicing it up, man. And it's even science to that. It's even science to that, man. You have got to change it up. Once you hit that wall, like the reason why you are hitting that wall in the first place is because you are doing the same thing over and over and over again. You got to constantly spice it up. You got to constantly change or tweak a portion of your regimen in order to continue to grow, in order to continue to receive those gains and achieve those gains. You have got to constantly tweak your program and your regimen. That's the only way to constantly reach your goals, constantly elevate your level of fitness and your level of health. So change is good. So I'm always striving to do different things, man. You just got to experiment. You got to experiment. You got to experiment, man. You cannot be doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Who wouldn't get bored with that? Who wouldn't get bored with that? Oh, Tavon, most definitely. And I was jogging for a minute, but see, I was doing it for a goal. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can increase my endurance, because I never was a good endurance runner. So when I ran, I had a goal in mind. And once I reached that goal, just like I was talking about with a diet, I was done running. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, because I was always bad at it. So I was able to do it and I was able to master it. And then I stopped doing it because it ain't necessarily something that I love to do. But if you love to jog, do it. Do it. And then even on top of that, do the things that you love, but also do things that make you uncomfortable. So along with doing things that you love, incorporating things that you love, incorporate something on a weekly basis that makes you uncomfortable from a fitness perspective. Do an exercise that you hate once a week. Like, do something that you hate, do something that makes you uncomfortable at least once a week, or do something different once a week. You don't necessarily have to hate it, but make sure it's something different or something that you just don't like. That's another problem that I see. A lot of times people go into the gym and they just do things that just make them comfortable, that they are comfortable doing. No, the way to truly grow is to be uncomfortable. So if you've been running this 1 mile on 3.5 on the treadmill for 4 weeks, it's time for you to increase that speed, or it's time for you to go to 2 miles. Make yourself uncomfortable. Push yourself. If you've been lifting those 15-pound dumbbells for 4 weeks, it's time for you to up it to 20. If you hate doing burpees, therefore you don't do burpees, now it's time for you to do burpees. So a lot of times I have my clients do things that I know that they don't like. Oh, Shane, I talk about that a lot on Facebook. I talk about leg day and dudes just not liking leg day. I talk about that a lot. So if leg day is your enemy, start your week off with leg day. Start your week, get leg day out of the way first. That's what I do. That's what I used to do, man. I used to do leg day first. So now I love leg day. So if you despise leg day, don't push it off, because more than likely you won't do it. You won't have a leg day if you push it off. So if you hate leg day should be your first day. So if you start your workouts on Monday, Monday should be leg day. Whatever body, like if you lifting kind of like a bodybuilder, whatever body part that you despise working, that should be the body part that you start your week off with. So if you despise working your arms, which for the most part dudes don't despise working the arms, but if you despise arm day, start your week off with arm day. Oh, Nick, most definitely. Angelic, peace. What's going on with you? Everything is peace my way. Like I said, but I'm just getting back into the groove of things with the stream. Took some time off. Montel, most definitely. So I tell people all the time, man, I'm always striving to, and some people think I'll be making up workouts or making up exercises. I'm like, man, I gotta find ways. I gotta find ways to make you uncomfortable. I feel like you're getting too comfortable now. So I gotta disturb that. I gotta disturb that. That's only going to help you. That's only going to lead to your growth. Oh yeah, Angelic, I was down in Mississippi. I was down in Mississippi with my peoples. Pseudo charlatans piece, what's going on? So we gotta get out of that comfort zone, man. If you sticking to a regimen simply because it's comfortable, time to change it up. Once you get comfortable with that regimen, time to change it up. D Monty Magic piece, what's going on with you? You should not be doing things that you are comfortable with all the time. Like, get out of that comfort zone. Like I said, whatever it is that you despise, something that's different, make sure you incorporate that weekly or bi-weekly. So those are like that. That's very important. Like, that's very important. That's very important, man. I can't stress that enough, man. A lot of people, man, like I said, don't make changes, man. Just doing the same thing over and over in regards to their routine. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Oh, Tavon, most definitely, man. You always gotta take a break from any and everything, man. Any and everything, man. I definitely recommend that. Like social media fast. I definitely recommend that every once in a while. Just need that break, man. It's just good for the mental. D Monty Magic, when it comes to building leg mass on a lanky frame, man, squats gonna be king. Like, you gotta squat heavy, and you just gotta get your grub on. You gotta get your grub on. Like, I don't know how many calories you probably consume on a daily basis now, but you gotta get your grub on, man. You gotta do some heavy squatting, like back squats, front squats, lunges, step ups, split squats. All of those are key. Cam Cooper, peace, what's going on? But when it comes to when you got that lanky frame, it's just gonna take time. It's gonna take you more time than somebody such as myself. So with the lanky frame, man, you just gotta have patience when it comes to building that leg mass. Gotta have patience because it's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a while, but you gotta stay committed and you gotta stay focused and you gotta stay consistent. That's the major part to focus on, man. Consistency. That's really the key. So if you're striving to build that leg mass on that lanky frame, consistency is going to be your best friend, man. You got to make sure, like I said, you squatting heavy. You squatting heavy and you doing it consistently. You consistently increasing that weight. Brittany, peace, what's going on with you? And O'Shane, when it comes to pretty much herbs, like the only type of like supplements or whatnot that I take, like little powders, I take spirulina, wheatgrass, chlorella. I got sea moss in here, elderberry, of course, the echinacea, like the tea or the powder, the olive leaf extract, the colloidal silver. That's also a pretty piece. The black seed oil. That's also crucial. Like those are the main things that I fool with now. Like those are the main things that I currently fool with. And of course, like the chlorophyll, like that you definitely should have you some chlorophyll and kelp. I got the kelp powder as well. Like that's good for iodine. But all of the things that I just listed, that's pretty much what I fool with. D Monty Magic, the funny thing about the leg press machine, when I got my legs, when I developed my legs the best, I didn't utilize the leg press machine. Like when I got the best definition and the best mass on my legs, I was squatting and front squatting heavy. I was doing a lot of barbell lunges, dumbbell step ups. I was doing like split squats. I was doing things like that. And that developed my legs tremendously. I wasn't doing a lot of leg pressing. I didn't start leg pressing until I got out of college, and I never was able to duplicate how my legs look with the leg press machine versus what I was doing when I was in college, man, was just front squatting and back squatting, real heavy, real hard. So I don't feel like you need the leg press machine. You can develop your legs simply via back squatting and front squatting, and then, like I said, with the lunges and the split squats and all of that good stuff. Tavon, man, pretty much like any machine can cause injury. It's all about technique and form. Like even just squatting, back squatting can cause permanent back injury, knee injuries, and all that type of stuff. And that's simply because people are not doing it right. When it comes to the leg press, you're not supposed to lock your legs at the end. That's what can cause the damage to your knee. That can tear your kneecaps up. So a lot of people, they lock out, meaning they just extend their legs all the way at the end portion of it when they come back, when they come up. So you're not supposed to do that. But a lot of people, man, you can injure yourself doing any and everything, man. A lot of people do, especially when it comes to squat, man. A lot of people do not squat properly. Like a lot of people do not sit back on the squat. Like your knees are not supposed to be coming past your toes when you're squatting. And for the most part, that happens like 95% of the time. When I tell people to squat, first thing that goes forward are the knees. The first thing that move are the knees. It's supposed to be your hips, man. You throw your hips back and then you sit back. That's how a squat is supposed to go. All right, Jizzy Diablo, peace, no problem. So form is crucial. So a lot of times, man, we got to humble ourselves, especially dudes. We feel like if we barely had got any weight on the bar, like we taking a shot to our pride and our ego. Like forget all that. Forget all that, man. Your health is more important. So form should be a priority. So you got to make sure proper form is in order when you are squatting, when you are deadlifting, when you are doing anything. So definitely make sure the form is right and exact, man, because if it's not, you're setting yourself up for a multitude of problems. Kurt Senior, peace. What's going on with you? You said what? What vegan meat brands? Like that Beyond Beef, like the Beyond Meat and the like the store bought, because it's soy free. So I will fool with that before I will fool with anything else. When you are striving to make the transition, so it's good for a person that's striving to make that transition. So I recommend like the Beyond Beef, like in the store. So that's good for the transition because, like I said, it's soy free, so it's non-GMO, so it's pretty solid. It's just expensive. Hey, we got to, man, dude, your name is hilarious. You don't fool with Google, I assume. But what's going on? What's going on with you? Oh, D Monty. Oh yeah, I just saw that. D Monty Magic machines. No, I don't fool with machines. I'm a free weight person. I do not like any type of machine. So I'm barbells and dumbbells. That's all you need. Like a lot of these machines are unnecessary, man. So for the most part, I'm all barbells and dumbbells. I'm all barbells and dumbbells. And even when studying like Bruce Lee, like he was even letting you know it in a few books that I have written by him. He was like, man, in order to take his martial art to the next level, like he had to increase his strength. So that's why he started incorporating weightlifting into his regimen. But yeah, I'm strictly free weights and dumbbells. I'm not a fan of like those machines that you would see in your average gym. Free weights and dumbbells, that's all I need. Yeah, D Monty Magic, most definitely. But like I said, I know time is of the essence for some people, so they look for convenience. So if that's the issue for you, then I just recommend that. It's the safer of the options. Savon, yeah, I'm already knowing. We already know how we do with those so-called holidays. We don't we don't focus on those too much. Oh, Shane, like I said, soy is one of those complicated, one of those complicated foods. Non-GMO soy, it has a lot of benefits, especially for women. The non-GMO soy, it's shown to be protective against breast cancer. Again, non-GMO soy. A lot of times when we consuming the soy, we consuming that soy meat. We not consuming the soybean. Like we not consuming soy in that fashion, but like non-GMO soy, again, non-GMO soy. People miss that part. Like in moderation, about 1 to 2 servings a day for women is definitely helpful. Tamil, most of it, and a lot of times when a lot of people say that, I agree to an extent. But I feel like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people kind of underrate how how hard it is to stay focused with an exercise regimen or exercise routine or a proper exercise regimen and proper exercise routine. And I feel like one of the reasons that people do that is because they are not working out the way that they should, meaning they are not consistently increasing the intensity. So I feel like a lot of people make it seem like the exercise portion is the easy portion. And for the most part, most people that say that, they not really putting in the proper work in the gym, or if they at home, however they doing it, they not putting in the proper work. They doing the same thing over and over. So that's why it's easy. But I feel like it's almost like a 40-60 type deal, because the exercise portion, like I'm sore right now. I worked out Saturday, hard workout. And I'm like, I feel like I just got done working out. And it's all soreness from that workout on Saturday. Like when you work out how you supposed to work out, like your body gonna let you know you're gonna have a level of soreness. Like it's hard, it's rough, it's not easy. But like I said, for the most part, people not pushing themselves in that gym and they workouts. They not doing that. When you pushing yourself consistently and constantly, then man, that ain't as easy as people make it sound. And that's why I say it's more psychological, it's more mental than anything. Like this whole journey is more mental than anything, because when you got to continuously increase that intensity, that's mental. That's mental. If you used to doing 20 push-ups and you trying to get to 40, like you got to do more push-ups than you used to doing. That's uncomfortable. That's hard. But if you just do 20 push-ups every day and that's just all you gonna do, then of course that's gonna become easy. That's gonna become easy. So like I feel like a lot of people, man, they just underrate how important, like how hard it is, man, to just stick to an exercise regimen, the proper exercise regimen. Meaning things are getting harder, not easier, not lighter. When you do it that way, trust me, you're gonna have plenty of days where it's like, man, I do not feel like doing this. And even some of the people I train, man, they have told me, they was like, man, this is hard work. I now see why a lot of people don't stick to working out, because it's hard. So it's like, man, I don't know. It's almost like a toss up. Cause like some days, man, I have a hard time being motivated, man, to work out. Like the food portion don't necessarily be the bad deal for me. Sometimes I'm just like, man, I do not feel like working out, because I know that when I work out, I gotta go hard. I can't do anything that's like light and easy. So I gotta do something that's hard, man. That's just gonna kind of tax the body. So I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it. So that's my biggest battle. Yeah, Tavon, most definitely. And like I said, man, just whatever it is that you can bust out in one set, then if you should be constantly increasing that. So if I'm banging out 60 in just one set, boom, just I can do 60 strong. All right. Next week I'm hitting 65. Week after that, I'm hitting 70. Week after that, I'm going 75. Week after that, I'm going 80. Like, that's how it should be. That's the progression principle. That's when you see your gains. That's when you maintain the gains. But a lot of people, like I said, they don't push themselves in that manner, man. And you can really, oh, D, I'd have had plenty of situations like that. I've had several. I had one a few years ago, man, when I just kind of tweaked my back. And I was being stubborn at first, man. So I tweaked it. So I was like, nah, man, I can't get off my square. I can't get off track. So I was still going to the gym, man. But I was like, man, I can't do this, man. I gotta rest. So I had to rest for about a month. I was out for about a month, man. I had to pick it back up. And that was rough. That was rough, man, because I was getting comfortable. I was getting comfortable, man. I was taking that month off, man. My body started feeling a lot better, man. So I was good. I'm like, all right, I'm all right. Then when that month was over with, I had to get back to my regimen. I had to get back to my routine. And it was mental at that point, man. So just imagine, I was working at the bank that time. So I had a whole month of not having to drive straight to the gym. I was able to just drive to the crib, man, and just rest and chill out. So now I had to reprogram myself to start driving back to the gym, man. Start bringing my clothes to the job, man. My change of clothes, my gym bag, get my gym bag ready. At that time I was drinking shakes, get my shake ready and all that type of stuff. But I was able to get back on my routine with no problem. But I've had to change, like I've had to take a break about 2 or 3 times. And then, like when my granny passed last year, I took a break then. But I was down for probably about a week or 2, so it wasn't that long. But I had to deal with that whole situation, so I wasn't able to really work out how I wanted to, if at all, some days, man. So I just said, all right, I ain't gonna, like, I don't like the way that I'm working out due to this situation, so I'm gonna just take 2 weeks off. McAllen, what's going on with you? And no, I don't do everything in one workout, but when I do work out, it's intense. Yeah, D, and that's exactly the situation that I'm talking about. I was deadlifting. And it wasn't even, like I said, it wasn't even like heavy. It was like a lightweight, man. I just moved the wrong way and I just tweaked my back. So it was like one of those freak kind of accidents, man, or whatever, man. So I was just setting the weight down, man. It was just some way that I tweaked my back when I was setting it down and popped it. So it wasn't really even a form thing. It wasn't that the weight was too heavy, man. It was just one of those type of situations. Man, I was just putting the weight down. Next thing you know, boom. But a lot of that, just after studying, it had to do with my posture. So it really wasn't necessarily the deadlift that caused that. It was just bad posture. And that's what essentially led to that. Oh, D Monty, man, most definitely. Most definitely. Like I said, man, when people see the type of work that must be put in, man, like I worked out with my cousin. I had my cousin do a workout when I went to Mississippi, man, and it was brutal. But like I said, when people really realize the type of work that one must put in, like people, like you're gonna gain a new level of respect for certain type of people. That's why I tell people, man, when they think this exercising thing, when they think this fitness thing is simple and it's easy, like, all right, come work out with me. And once they see how hard them workouts are, it's like it's a new level of respect. It's a new level of respect. Yeah, I saw Nate Robinson, man, and that what it was just bad, yeah, preparation. Man, Nate Robinson should have prepared a lot better. He should have prepared a lot better for that. But again, he went in there and he he did what most people probably wouldn't have even done in the first place. So I'm gonna give him credit for that. But I just feel like, man, the preparation, he should have prepared for it a lot better. Man, the strategy was just way off because I'm a short dude. So if I would have been fighting somebody that's a lot taller than me, I would have had a way different approach than he did. So that was like a whole different approach, man. So I would have had a whole different approach. I would have used certain things to my advantage that I knew, like I would have had I know for a fact, I would have been quicker and I would have been faster than him. So I would have used that to my advantage. I wouldn't have went up in there like on attack mode like Nate was. Like, nah, that ain't gonna work. So I would have been a lot more strategic in regards to me boxing somebody that's taller than me. I'm not finna come in there running and attacking you like he was. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. It would have been a boring fight if I would have been fighting the dude. They would have booed me for fighting him, but I guarantee you, like, it would have went the distance. If I would have lost a fight like that, it would have had to be because of a decision. I wasn't finna go out like that. Like that, like whoever was coaching him, that was trash, man. Like that dude, like I would have just relied on all of my quickness. So like I said, it would have been a boring fight. But that white boy wouldn't have been knocking me around, knocking me out like that. I'm just not finna go out like that. So I would have been Floyd Mayweather mode, all defense. Like that dude wasn't finna be touching me. And however I was gonna have to achieve that, that's how I would have achieved it. But I wasn't about to be getting touched like that. So it would have been it's like a David versus Goliath story. So Nate Robinson, I just felt like he was too caught up in the moment, man. He was just too anxious. He was too excited, man. So he had the jitterbug, man. So he just was rushing dude like this football or wrestling or something. I'm like, yo, you do need to calm down. Shane, when it comes to fixing the posture, I don't know if you've seen. I got a back routine that I posted on here. Go find that back routine that I posted on here and do that about 4 to 5 times out of the week. That back routine is specifically for people that have bad posture. It helps realign like the spine. So go find that back routine that I posted on here like some months ago, maybe 2 months ago, maybe. Go find that. Make sure you're doing that about 3 to 4 times a week. Yeah, and that's all. Well, I just feel like whoever coached Nate, whoever trained Nate, that was just, I don't know. Maybe they didn't tell him to do that. Maybe he just acted on the impulse and just got excited. I don't know. But his whole strategy was trash. Like I knew he was gonna get knocked out, man. Just seeing the way he approached it, like, nah, dude, no, that's not the way. You don't. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not about to do that. Like that, I would have had a totally different approach, especially considering that it was my first time, like, boxing on that type of level in front of people. Nah, like I'm not going out like that. No, never. That just wouldn't happen, man. Like I said, I would have got booed. People would have booed me. They would have booed the fight if I would have been the one fight. But man, y'all know what it is, man. I am once again got the venting. I got to get up here to this gym, man. I got a class. Got a class that I got a few classes. Got about 3 classes that I got to instruct today. That I got to teach. So again, this was good dialogue, man. It was good to be back. A little shaky, man, because like I said, it's been a minute since I've been on here, man. But we gonna get back to it. We gonna get back to the money. We gonna get back to these streams. I'm gonna see you all again on Wednesday. So y'all enjoy this Monday evening, man. Y'all stay peaceful. Y'all stay healthy, man. Stay positive. Stay productive. So I'll catch y'all Wednesday, man. Enjoy this Monday evening. Y'all be easy out here. Y'all peace.